How's it going? I'm Sheedy. I'm the cinematographer for the Minnesota Vikings, and today I'm going to be talking about how I shot the Christmas Day Lions vs. Vikings game on Netflix, the pre-production, the shot list, the gear I used, and what goes into capturing such a special moment. And honestly, I don't want to waste any more time, so let's hop straight into the footage. So the first thing I had to shoot were player arrivals. That happens out back by the player's lot, and I was actually the second shooter for this one. The main shooter, my coworker Alex, was doing the classic, tighter, slow-mo, dramatic players kind of coming towards you, tracking them in, but I wanted to vary the frame slightly. So the first thing I wanted to do was to get some real speed, establishing shots, and go real wide with it. So I was on an FX3, a 12-24, and the RS3 gimbal, but I ended up using it as a hi-hat and just putting it down on the kickstand and letting the action unfold in front of me. The thinking here is to get the real speed stuff, to respect the frame rate for some of the documentary pieces that we do in-house, but also setting the stage, not getting too intimate yet, and getting a variety of different real speed establishers. I also wanted to do some of the more dramatic tracking stuff though, so halfway during the shoot, once I was happy with the amount of establishers I got, I threw on the 50 mil and track some players in just to get that movement with the gimbal, with the really shallow depth of field look, so I could kind of play off of both. So we've got the really big real speed establishers. I know that our main shooter has a bunch of the tighter lens options, and then I was doing some of that dramatic gimbal tracking stuff. So again, it's about varying the frame, it's about getting options, and once I was happy, I headed inside. The next thing I had to do was setting up the static wide shot. That happened up on the 4th floor near the control room, and I found a camera booth where there was a position for me to put a tripod. It's a Canon C70, it's Okina 11-20 lens, and for this, it's just getting a look at the entire stadium, all the fans, and recording it for the entire game. So I had somebody start 30 minutes before our intros, but the reason for this is because we do so much entertainment-wise, and we do such a great job building that home atmosphere. Obviously, our fans do such a good job showing up in theme, so we wanted to have scoring plays, the halftime show, our showtime, which is our player intros and performances, our entertainment performances, all the different things that we have going on. So that ended up being a 4-hour and 50-minute clip, but we do have a really big expressive wide shot of everything that happened during the game, which is great for showing off what the environment looks like in US Bank Stadium. To do is go show the fans arriving, and that happens outside of the stadium and over by, we have a plaza where a bunch of fans can gather. I didn't make it to the tailgate lot this time around, but I have in the past. And for this, especially with the theme being the winter whiteout game, I wanted to show off how the fans were arriving, what they were wearing, all the different things. So there's fans wearing jerseys, there's fans in crazy outfits, there's Santa, there's all kinds of different stuff happening out there. And so I wanted to get a look of that in a really nice, clean, dramatic look. FX3, gimbal, 50 mil still. If I had more time, I think I would have done the 12-24 and done the low wide establishers as well of fans walking in, like I did in the player arrivals, but getting a really pretty clean, dramatic gimbal look of the fans ended up working out just fine, and just showing off how they arrive and how they show up for a home game. So next I went back into the stadium to shoot the players going out onto the field. Still on the FX3, still on the RS3 gimbal, but I put the 12-24 back on to just get a really wide look of the players going through the Delta Club and going out to the field, interacting with fans, signing things, high-fiving, and it just kind of shows the entire picture of the players, all the fans, everything that's happening there. I wanted to get that really big, wide, expressive look, vary the frame a little bit, follow some players out, have some players come towards me, show our head coach interacting with fans, all those things. Using the really wide, low distortion lens like this is great for just making the space look bigger than life and making the players look bigger than life as they're heading out to get ready for the game. I was on the same build for pregame, got some dramatic wide stuff of the players, and then got the speech. And then it was time to shoot Showtime, which is our big live performance turned intros. It's hard to explain, it's incredible. Either go to the Packers-Vikings game this Sunday or just make it to a home game next year. But it really is one of one, our home environment for a game presentation. So I wanted to capture that in as big and an epic way as possible. So for this, I was still on the FX3 on the gimbal on the 12-24. I tried to get some gimbal moves as the players were running, just to really show the moment, the fire going up and all that stuff. and build it as epic as I could. And then after this, it was time to switch builds and hop into the game action. So I switched cameras to the Sony Burano and the Canon 25-250. It's a phenomenal build. It's built out so that I can have it on my shoulder comfortably all game. Obviously, with all the different sensor size options and codecs and frame rate options in the Burano, combined with the fact that the lens has the extender built in so it can cover the different sensor sizes, is phenomenal. And while that lens does get a little bit funky wide open, stopping down, if you lose a little bit of light, having the second base on the Burano be 3200 EI and clean has been awesome. So if I'm hopping into slow-mo and I don't really want to open up the lens anymore and I like the stop I'm at, I can just go to the second base. It's been a phenomenal build all season. I'm very lucky and grateful for the gear I have access to at the Vikings. But I hopped on this build for the game in what we call a color shooter position, where I'm shooting highlights of the game, but I'm also shooting a bunch of the atmosphere stuff, just kind of like a flex roll. So I'm just shooting everything that I can, basically play, atmosphere, all of it. And like I said, being on the shoulder, having the flexibility of such a long zoom lens and all the different frame rate options is great, because it's kind of a player's choice on how I want to capture it. So we got the win, Skull Vikings, and because of that, went to shoot the locker room speech with my coworker Ryan.
Knowing every time you'd go out there, it'd be another stop, but you did a little bit more than that. All right, you want to make a dent in that turnover margin number? Go out and win it 6-0. Give it up for yourself.
And then left the locker room and started to pack up. So that's everything that went into covering the Christmas Day game and all the different footage and examples and stuff. And hopefully that's helpful to show the approach, the different cameras, the different lenses, just the different ways in which I can try to do my part in covering everything that goes on from when fans and players are first showing up to when they're leaving the locker room at the end of the game. So if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll try to do more breakdowns as the offseason approaches and as some of the football content is slowing down. Maybe I'll hop in here and explain some of the shoots that I had this past season, since it was my first season being the cinematographer for the Vikings and got to be on an incredible amount of projects and learn a ton along the way. So anyway, if you got any questions, feel free to reach out. Follow me on Instagram at sheedy.media, and I will catch you guys in the next one.